Hello, Internet, it's your boy. We are 785, Fifth Cemetery Mary. Are you excited as I am? It's time for the trend. Here we go. There's the bus. I sprinted to the bus and tried to get on. I tried to get the driver to notice me. Even though I was wearing all black, the driver seemed to see me. Thank goodness. I apologized a gazillion times as I boarded onto the bus for having to make them stop for me. But I was so very. My excitement is making me unable to read. But I was so very, very grateful they did. I have no idea how I would have gotten home had I missed the last bus. Thankfully, the rain didn't last too much, however. Oh, too much longer. Or perhaps we drove out of it. Either way, it was plenty dry when I got off the bus and onto that old dirt path. It was just a bit dark, that's all. Luckily, my phone still had enough battery to use its flashlight, and did light my way. To use its flashlight and help light my way, my bad. Even though I'm sure I could walk this path in my sleep by now. The house was dark as I approached it. Had I not lived here for weeks, I'd even say it looked scary. Like a haunted, abandoned cabin in the middle of the woods. Water, please. It was dark, so I had the Corbin wasn't home, but already asleep. I tried to be quiet as I entered the front door, just in case he really was sleeping. As soon as I entered, I felt a wave of tiredness crash over me. I I need to sit down. Am I really so tired? And after I just slept so long, what's got me feeling like this? Maybe I should go to bed, but I have to get out of this chair first. I just need to muster the energy first. Sleeping on a chair? Ugh. Am I still sleeping? Feels like I'm being pulled. I'm Groven! You scared me. Ah, sorry about that. Could you what sleep for me? Huh? Why? It'll just be easier for me if you are. Groven? What are you talking about? Groven sighed and stood up properly. Follow me, please. Groven walked towards the front door. I could see a faint light on outside. I followed him. When I exited out the front door, I could see Groven out in the clearing near the house. There was a large vehicle there. It was clearly still running. Groven, what's this? My entire throat, I'm sorry. Mary, I need you to get in the car. Where are we going? It doesn't really matter. That's not the important part. We just need to leave, okay? Uh, for how long? A long time. I don't understand. What is this? Did something bad happen? Listen, I'll try to explain it all later. But for now, I just need you to trust me and come with me. I trust you. I got you, boo. Thank you. I will explain it eventually. Corbin walked me over to the back door of the truck and opened it up for me. He helped me inside, but frantically as if to rush me. As I began to buckle in, I noticed that Corbin and I weren't the only ones in this vehicle. There was a man sitting in the driver's seat. It was so dark I couldn't see his face, but Corbin seemed familiar enough with him as he climbed onto the passenger seat. And as we began to drive, and we began to drive. Uh, why is Uncle still there? I wanted to ask Corbin what was happening, but not in front of the stranger. Who, who is this? Do I even try to ask? Well, it certainly took you long enough. I'm sorry. Yeah, I should fucking hope so. We wouldn't even be having to do this bullcrap if you weren't such an idiot. I'm sorry. I'll try and do better next time. Next time? What, you want there to be a next time to all this? I'm sorry. That was a poor choice of words. Whatever. I don't want to get mad in front of Mary. It's just, it is alright. As long as we continue like this, things should be just fine. What are things exactly? You know, I hope you're right about that. Because if I have to worry about this over a second longer, it's gonna be your head. I am aware. But have I failed you before? Where are we going, if I can ask? Yeah, I'd say you have. Hey, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. We've gotten this far, haven't we? It isn't far enough. You think my dad would settle for this shit? In all fairness, your father was a lot more patient. Yeah, well, I'm not. This is giving me a headache. Likewise. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe when we get there, I can, like, sit down with some coffee or something. That sounds like a good idea. I just hope it actually calms you and doesn't make you more jittery. Yeah, shut it. Ugh, we're never gonna make it there at this rate, though. What do you mean? You kidding me? You drive like a fucking snail. You wanna go faster, maybe? It's safer to drive like this. It's dark and we've hardly traveled this far before. Come on, it's a straight fucking line. What, are you worried about crashing into all these other cars around us right now? I give my reasoning. We will get there regardless. Yeah, but it'll already be sunrise when we do. Fucking... Give me that. Corbin suddenly grasped the steering wheel, much to the shock and worry of both me and the driver. What the hell are you doing? Let me fucking drive. Stop the car and let me drive if you're not gonna listen. Let go of the wheel. That's a do. Oh boy. This was gonna happen. I knew it. I told we shouldn't have done this way. What are you expecting to do then, huh? I'm after them. But what? I don't care. You, where they headed, right? Not letting get away. What, Mary? She was breathing. Nothing broken, right? So you take care of her. Ain't you used to that job I know? I'm not sticking around. Oh boy. This is bad. Then... God damn it! Mary, can you hear me? Come on. Let's get you home safe. Completely blocked out. I'm peeing. But not a lot. Just very numb. Like being hit with a big wave on the beach. Slowly, I can feel my senses coming back to me. I'm pressed against something. I'm being held. But by who? Open your eyes. Blink. Huh? Oh hey! You're awake! Ah. Huh? Who are you? Oh, easy now. The man let me stand on my own 2 feet, and I quickly backed away from him. Where? Mary, calm down. It's me, remember? From the car, with Crobin. I was driving. I recognize your voice. That makes me feel a lot better. But, may I ask what happened to Crobin? Well, it's gonna be a long story. Walk with me. So first, how much do you remember? Oh, we were driving somewhere. Look at the walking cycle animation, it's so cute. I could just die. Corbin was mad at you, Corbin was fighting with you, yes, it's talking with you. Corbin was mad at you. He certainly was. Though he almost always is. So it's not like this time was any different. Then Corbin got really mad and wanted to drive the car himself. And we hit something, was swerved. It's a bit foggy. You're walking fine, so you're not in any pain. So you're not concussed. You're not in any pain, are you? I think I'm okay. I just feel numb. You were in the back of the car, which wasn't really damaged. think you may have hit your head though. I guess that's why I blocked out. Even though it wasn't too much damage, the car is no longer in any shape to drive us anywhere. And we can't exactly turn back now, so our only choice is to keep walking until we can get to the next town. I wasn't sure when you were going to wake up, but you were out for a while, and so I admit I was getting a bit worried. But I did wake up for a tiny bit. When Corbin and you were yelling at each other, I heard Corbin say some things. Letting someone get away? Is he okay? What happened to him? Ah, well. I suppose there's no use hiding it now. I mean, how much do you know about it? Know about what? I don't know anything about any of this. Corbin just woke me up and told me we had to go. I see. I guess I'll be the one to explain it then. As best I can, anyways. If you don't know anything about it, I guess I'll start from the beginning. Or at least my understanding of it. So you know Han City, right? Yeah. It's where my aunt and uncle lived for most of my life. Or where my parents lived before they had me. That's right. Well, how do I say this? Picture this with me, if you will. Mob, gang, criminal organization, whichever words please you. There were two of them, centered in Han City. The first were referred to as the Congress, and the second were referred to as the Parliament. Why are you using political terms? Han City housed these two organizations, but it hardly had room for both. The two groups were always at war with one another, fighting over territory, money, whatever they could. But even if just to make it so that the other group could not have it. I tell you this because your uncle, he was the head of the Congress. You're joking. You can't be serious. Uncle Cross was such a sweet man. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Haven't you ever questioned why he wore that eye patch? It was from his time in the army. He was in a war. Oh, I see. Please continue. Eventually, the Congress had overpowered the Parliament, and the Parliament was pushed to Blackwood. The Congress now had full control of Holland City, and weren't worried about the Parliament interfering with their plans anymore. I wish I could say that's where the story ended, but if it was, we wouldn't be here right now. Your mother, Mary. My mom? What about her? Your mother was a good friend of Cross. Long-time friends. I believe they'd known each other way from back when your mother was still a child. Oh boy, yes, I knew that. That's why I started calling him my uncle to begin with. Because he was such a good friend of Mom's. Did Mom know? Was Mom involved? I guess he wasn't family. I guess Corbin's not family. It's kinda good. Is Mom involved? Please tell me. Yeah, she knew. And your father knew too. But they were never involved in any of it. Until recently. Huh? Let me finish explaining. After the Congress had complete control of Holland City, your uncle, aunt, and parents lived there peacefully. More or less. For a while. But your mother had wanted to open her own restaurant, diner, eating establishment. And the perfect location she was looking for was in Blackwood. Your uncle and aunt begged her not to make the move. They were scared of the Parliament potentially charging her, even if she was never involved in their business. But if she wanted that restaurant, it was her only option. Not to mention, she was expecting a child. And, well, believe it or not, back in the day, Blackwood used to be a lot cleaner than Hound City was. Even with the Parliament there. Tails certainly turn, don't they? So, despite their warnings, your parents moved to Blackwood to start their restaurant. And, well, their family. Your aunt and uncle were still worried, but you guys actually seemed to stay pretty safe. And we didn't really have any reason to worry. They even felt comfortable visiting you guys from time to time. They'd even joke about how the Parliament may not even exist anymore. But they'd show us that they were still alive and kicking straight enough. A few years ago was when things really began to spark again. We'd received reports of gang activity beginning to pick up in Blackwood. That alone may not have concerned us much, but then we started getting reports of enemy gang members parading themselves around Han City, calling themselves the Parliament. That really made our sirens go off. Then, out of almost nowhere, your aunt and uncle's home was broken into. They were unsure if it was related, but well, it's not like they were going to take their chances. They shortly ended up moving to a safer house of theirs. Oh, a safe house of theirs, you could call it. Eventually, even though it was closer to Blackwood than it was Han City, it seemed like the safest bet. Wait, the cabin! The cabin in the woods! The one you picked me up from! That's right. I had always wondered why they moved there. They always had such a nice house in Han City. I never understood why they moved to such a cramped little space in the woods. They lived there quietly for a few years. But, well, you know that. Yeah. I was happy Corbin was so much closer than before, but I didn't know this was why. Things only started to go really wrong quite recently. Your aunt and uncle, they came in contact with the head of the parliament. The head figure had promised to meet them to discuss a sort of treaty or truce. Some deal or arrangement. Told them that they'd meet somewhere public so there was no worry of anything insidious. And after a while, they finally agreed to meet them. But, well, you know that went south. And that, more or less, covers most of it. I see. Are you alright? It's just a lot to take in. I can imagine. If there's anything you need elaborated, I'll try to explain to the best of my ability. Thank you. Well, I guess I do have one question. Yeah? Who are you? Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize I never introduced myself. I'm Ovidius. I was like the first lieutenant, you could say. The right-hand man to your uncle. Or, well, the right-hand man to Croven, no. Croven's involved with this all too, right? Unfortunately, yes. He's always known. We just didn't expect him to inherit Congress like this. At least, not yet. And Croven, he ran off. Yes. He believed we were being followed by the Parliament. Claimed the car that quickly drove past us after the crash must have belonged to them. And he ran after it. I don't know what he thinks I will help, but I couldn't go after him. My priority was watching out for you. Have you been in contact with him at all? No. As I said, my priority was taking care of you. Maybe I should try messaging him. After everything you just told me, I don't feel comfortable knowing he's on his own over there. Oh, you should give me your number too then. In case we wind up separated somehow. Unnecessary. Huh? You already have it. I knew it. He's the unknown number. Already have it? Wait a minute. Then that means... She slapped him? Nice. Ah, hey. You were the strange number that I've been texting. The one I message nearly every night. Yeah? Yes, that's correct. Why didn't you tell me that from the beginning? More so, why were you so creepy over the phone? Fucking blush. You scared the living daylights out of me. I apologize. I didn't mean to. Truly, I tried as best as I could to not come off malicious. But you see, it didn't work. I'm just not good when it comes to cellular communication. Perhaps I should explain a bit more of why I'm even here. You see, back when gang activity first began to pick up again in Blackwood, your uncle assigned me to the task of looking out for you. I was to make sure that you were kept safe from all this. Of course, I accepted this task. I made sure you were never involved in any of this. Until now, that is. Wait. Were you stalking me? I don't think were you stalking me is the right answer, the right question to ask. But that'll work. No, not exactly. I wasn't so much spying on you as I was spying on them. Huh? The Parliament. I was making sure they stayed out of areas you frequented. It was a difficult job making sure they kept their distance. whilst also making sure I didn't bring any suspicion upon you. But I think I did an alright job, at least while I was able to. Wait, if you're with Krogan, and you're also the mystery number, that means you know where my parents are, and that they're okay. That's right. Let me continue explaining. You see, keeping you safe within the city wasn't my only mission. I was also tasked with bringing you out of the city since should things go alright. Ori. And well, that happened. And I was instructed that if something like that should happen, I was to take you and your family out of Blackwood and bring you somewhere safer. However, what nobody told me was, you were staying with Kroven. I came to pick you up. I came to pick up you and your parents, but you were not there. I never got news that there was rumor of a murder in Blackwood, so I had no reason to believe you might be staying somewhere else. Your parents only told me once I had arrived there. But by that point, I was already in a very dangerous position. The Parliament was clearly on high guard. If I moved around too much, I risked jeopardizing everything. There wasn't enough time and too much risk involved in going to get you. So I left you with your parents. Oh, so I left with your parents. And I couldn't come back until we could be absolutely sure it was safe to take you away too. But if Corwin really did see a problem and call passers by, then perhaps it still wasn't safe enough. Then where are they now? Why didn't I ever hear from them? We didn't want the Parliament potentially catching on to us, and we were afraid they might be able to track your parents' phones, so I confiscated them. My phone has been modified to be untraceable, and why I was able to keep in contact with you. But the same couldn't be done for your parents. I apologize for that. But believe me when I say that, it was very hard for them not to contact you. It was the only way to ensure you were kept the safest you could be kept. I see. Are you alright? I don't know. Again, it's a lot to take in. I understand. It must be tiring to not even... what? It must be tiring to even hear about. But I hope you find happiness in knowing you'll see your parents again soon. Really? Yes, that's why I came to collect you after all. It's why we're heading out this way. But perhaps we would be a lot closer to them had the car not crashed. Ah, right. Even if Kroven does appear to be a... Even if Kroven does appear a bit frantic right now, I request that you not be mad at him. He wasn't even supposed to be with us, truthfully. But he wanted to come, to see for himself that you got there safely. And I'm sure he still wants to see that too. Even if he's not beside us right now. Really. Really. Most of the walk after was silent and awkward. How was I supposed to talk in this situation? Processing it was a huge thing to take on already. I had tried messaging Kroven, but we didn't hear anything back. I didn't really expect to, but it was worth a shot. I did wonder where he ended up though. I haven't seen a trace of him on this forest trail since all the time we've been walking. All the time we've been walking. Are you alright? Huh? You're slowing down. Oh, sorry. I'm very tired. How long have you been walking for? Can't say for certain. I didn't check the time when we started walking. Would you like me to carry you again? No, that's okay. You really don't have to. I hope we can get there soon. It's still plenty dark out. Indeed it is. But I would not be surprised if the sun starts to rise soon. Really? I was hoping we'd be there by daybreak. Maybe we still have to call. Wait. He stopped me. Did you hear that? I did. We turned behind us. There was a car, slowly driving in our direction. It was still a bit away from us, but would catch up to us soon. I'm going to wave them down, see if they can give us a ride. Stay behind me. I took a step back, and I noticed Ovidius reaching into the side of his jacket. He was carrying a weapon on him. I silently prayed to myself he wouldn't have to use it. The car slowly rolled to a halt beside us, and the window rolled down. I felt a bit more relaxed when I saw the driver behind the wheel. He was an elderly fellow, plenty of wrinkles. He looked so old, in fact, I didn't know if he should even be driving. On his head, he wore a mesh cap. It had a picture of a trout in it. And from the little I could see of his outfit, it looked as though he was wearing some kind of old overalls. Did I read the sign already? I have no idea. My brain just farted on me. I don't know why. And from the little I could see of his outfit, it looks as if he's wearing some kind of old overalls. Yeah. Even though I felt more at ease, Ovidius did not shift from his tense and serious state at all. He bowed over the side of the vehicle and talked to the driver through the window. I couldn't really hear what he was saying. But after a few moments, I heard the old man laugh, and Ovidius turned to me and told me it was alright to get in the car. So I climbed into the back seat and buckled myself in, and then we were off. Thank you again, sir. Ain't no problem. Just headed that way anyways. Frankly, I'm just surprised you guys are walking. I ain't never seen nobody on this old bat. Perhaps it ain't as well kept a secret as I thought. Ah, well, we really didn't have much choice. Our car kinda crashed. Yeah, so it was you bozos who had the car right parked there. Was wondering where the passengers went. Yes, that's correct. We swerved to try to avoid a deer. That's why you gotta keep your eyes and ears peeled in these woods. But I suppose it's a bit too late to tell you that. Anyways, what business do you all have in Greenbank? In Greenbark? Greenbark? Ovidius shot me a look. Alright, we're going for a competition, visiting family, a wedding. We're visiting family. Any special occasion? No, just visiting. Well, it's always nice to see our families getting together. Most people take that for granted nowadays, I tell you what. So you two are family too? Oh, well, not exactly. I'm just a close friend. Doing a favor. Oh, I see. Hope they're paying you enough to be a chauffeur. After crashing a car? I doubt I deserve much pay. But enough about us. What are you passing through Greenbelt for? Was hoping you'd ask. See, me and my fishing buddies do this trip every other weekend. Even though I don't live too close, but the shortcut helps me make it every time. I'm usually the last to arrive, but not by much. We rent out a boat, and the nice man continued to tell us all about his fishing trips, all the way to Rimbalk. It sounded like he was really excited to be able to talk about it. I like hearing about the fun times he shares with his friends. The sun began to rise right as we began pulling out of the forest. And once we were in Greenbach, Ovidius told the man to let us off at the corner of a sidewalk. I never did learn his name, but I made sure to thank him again for the lift. Lucky break for us. Well, let's not push it. Come on, let's go. Ovidius, Can we get breakfast first? Mary, we need to keep going. I'm sorry, I'm really not feeling well. Are you alright? Yeah, it's all just... It's a lot, you know? And I think it's all catching up to me. All the walking we've been doing, we really shouldn't stop moving. You're right. I understand. Come on. Huh? We'll get you something to eat. We'll just have to be quick. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Let's go. God, my throat's heating me. Ovidius tried to look for somewhere that might be open. Closest we could find was one of those chain diners, that prides itself on pancakes and other breakfast foods. They seemed to be the only place open anyhow. Luckily they weren't packed at all, so we were seated right away. I was happy about that. And please be quick. The wheel's practically dying over here. Ovidius shrugged his coat off then tossed it onto the open seat beside him before taking the seat across from me. You didn't have to do that. Hmm? Rushed the wait staff. It's not that dire. You're feeling unwell. I'm sure they can see that. You also shouldn't toss your coat like that. It's expensive, isn't it? It'll wrinkle easily like that. Well, if it'll wrinkle easily, maybe it shouldn't cost so much. You think that? Yeah, I do. What's expensive stuff to type that ruins so easily? You should get what you pay for. Would you agree with that? Yeah, I guess I would. You alright? Um, can I ask you about, can you tell me about the fire department? Huh? Ovidius quickly scanned the dining room and everyone in it. I work for the fire department. And you're curious about that, right? Oh, yeah. Can you tell me about, fire department? To an extent. What do you want to know? Oh boy, this should be fun. How long have you been a fireman? Have you always wanted to be a fireman? Are you good at being a fireman? Am I good at being a fireman? No. Am I good at being a fireman? Yes. I'm the best there is. You know, when I think back to when I first received that text message from such a mysterious number, of all the potential candidates it could have been, I never would have imagined it would have led to something happening like this. Are you upset? No. I mean, I'm glad it was actually an ally. After all, I mean, how could I be upset with someone who's done so much for me? Someone who even risked their life for me, and yet doesn't know me at all. I wouldn't say I don't know you. I mean, not anymore. We messaged one another almost every night, didn't we? Even though it might not have been much. I feel like I learned a lot about you. Besides, even though you didn't know me in return, you were always coming back to me. Or looking to me when you were in trouble. I know that you're a bright girl, even if you don't think so. I'm bright enough to ask for help when you need it. That's something that can't be said about a lot of people. Maybe if I had been more like you, I wouldn't be in this position I am now. Oh, but no. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm here anyways. And if I gotta be here anyways, then I'm glad it's someone like you. Thank you. If I may, can I ask one more thing? Of course. It's about the fire department. It's about my uncle. It's about my uncle and the fire department. It's about my uncle. Yes, go ahead. My uncle and the fire department. You knew my uncle. You said you worked right beside him, right? Yes, I did. My uncle. Was he a good person? He was silent for a moment. Listen, Mary. Your uncle. I owe my life to your uncle. And I'm sure many others do too. But just because I am loyal to him, doesn't mean that he was exactly a good person either. Your uncle did a lot for me, and for the rest of the fire department. But there is no such thing as a good firefighter. I guess I didn't realize how that sounded out loud. Thank you, Ovidius, for everything you've been doing for us. I don't know if Corbin ever tells you, but really, thank you so much. Of course. There's no one else I'd rather do it for. I felt much better after I was fed. Physically better, but I think the emotional toll was also a bit easier to digest. Come on, let's head out. Once we get past this point, we should be in the clear. Since we would no longer had our own vehicle, Ovidius and I had to find a bus stop. We'd have to take bus after bus until we could make a path to wherever it was we were supposed to be going. That's okay though. I was used to riding on a bus. He looked tired. Nah, don't worry about me. I'm fine. He says with his eyes just flashing. Are you sure? Yes. Are you really sure? Yes. We'll be on this bus for a while. You can take a nap if you'd like. That doesn't seem safe. What if we run into trouble? Then I'll wake you up. Promise? Promise. Then take this. I thought you might like it, but I couldn't find a good time to give it to you. But it might help you pass the time. For me? Thank you. Check my messages with Krogan. Still nothing. I could only hope that the reason he wasn't answering was because he was being extra careful, and not because something else was going down. I started reading the book I was given. When I saw the title, How to Talk to Ghosts, I figured it was, well, figurative. I thought it would be some spooky story with a clever title, but to my surprise, it is written as more of an instructional guide. It's a very interesting read, and I'm curious as to how they got all this information anyways. As previously mentioned, ghosts exist on a different plane of existence, that much is obvious. Yet they can communicate with us, despite their beings existing on a separate layer from ours. We see time and time again, their attempts to reach us. Perhaps it is because they are hungry, perhaps it is because they are lonely. Does each ghost exist on their own, or do spirits share a realm with one another, expanding and everlasting? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Or is there only purgatory, stretching for miles beyond what we can comprehend? These are questions I cannot yet answer, for if I could, I wouldn't be here writing this right now, would I? But there is a question I have been able to answer. Since ghosts can make contact with us, I often wondered, could we contact them? Sure, you've heard of psychics and mediums and whatnot, but that is only half of what I'm talking about. Being born with the innate ability is a factor, of course, but I wanted to delve deeper than that. Despite where they may exist, they can clearly affect things in our realm. They can reach us, and like one way glass, I know they can see us. But what if we could see them? It is not enough to hear them. I want to see them, to travel to where they will. I believe that, when you die, perhaps your soul can become unrestricted. But what if we could accomplish the opposite? What if the living being had the ability to unrestrict itself before death? Perhaps this sounds like crazy talk, but you will find that I successfully. Oh, we've got to get off the bus now. I don't think it'll be much longer. Is this it? Yes, this is it. He had brought me to a white paneled house in the middle of a cutesy suburban neighborhood, in a city much, much farther from Blackwood than I would have liked to think. Are we supposed to stay here forever? No, not forever. Just for a while. Until we can get things under control. Aren't you happy? Your parents are safe and you get to be with them again. I know. But I like Blackwood. And Croven. Don't worry about Croven. Don't worry about Blackwood. Both of those, they're my job. And I've never been bad at my job before. I'm going to take care of it. I'm sure we'll be back in Blackwood before you know it. I approached the front door of the house. My parents, who have been missing for so long, they're really right behind the store. But they stood back on the sidewalk. I don't know if it was because he didn't want to feel like he was pushing himself into the picture, or because he wanted to be able to leave as soon as he saw that I was safe. Everything that's happened, does it really end here? I know this isn't a choice, but I want to save this moment. Knock on the door. There's only one thing left to do. I lifted my hand to the door and knocked. Once, twice, 3 times. The knob slowly turned, but when it opened... Well, hello, miss. What brings you knocking on our door, Lost your way? Oh, don't be silly. You were here looking for mommy and daddy, isn't that right? So sorry, they stepped out for a moment. But we're more than happy to babysit you until they get back. Barry! I was grabbed by the strangers and they began to cover my mouth with cloth. It smelled of something I couldn't quite recognize, but I already knew what was happening. I tried calling out to Ovidius and my mouth was covered. You don't mind if we take her out for a little play date, right? Let her go. Yeah, I don't think so. And I wouldn't even try reaching for that gun of yours. Unless you're in the mood for a Bloody Mary. Uh-huh. Mary, listen to me. It's gonna be okay. Oh boy. My vision was beginning to fade. I'm not gonna let them hurt you. I promise you that. I'm good at what I do. I guess you blocked out. Huh? Where is this place? What's happening? I can hear a sound. Someone's voice. Hey, hey, hey! Have you been having fun? No, it's more like a multiple voices speaking together. I think this has been a blast. Though I don't think he would say the same. But it doesn't matter what he thinks. Well, maybe a little bit. What are they talking about? I don't understand. You're getting tired of this though, right? I guess it's over soon anyways. What do you think will happen? These voices. I can hear them pumping through my head like blood. The more they talk, the stronger it feels. I know I'm excited. It's getting painful. Although I do have to wonder. What do you think will happen to him? Will you miss him when he's gone? Please, stop talking. Or will you even remember him? It feels like my head is going to explode. Will you? Does it matter? I can't take it. Please, just... I guess it doesn't. None of this matters. Stop! Ah. Huh? What? Just a dream. Wait, where is this? I was kidnapped. But this place... Is this a jail cell? A real jail cell? I quickly looked around the place. It seems to have been abandoned for quite some time. But they brought me here. Ovidius! I have to get up. I have to get to him. Check my pockets. Of course, I took my phone. Why wouldn't they? Okay, okay, stay calm. We can find a way out of here. Well, there goes the happy ending. Cell bars, cell door, vent, bed, sink, toilet, hole in the wall. There was a large hole in the cell wall. I don't know whether it was purposefully made by a frustrated inmate, or if it just began to wear away over time. Either way, it's not going to help me much. All it's got is some exposed pipes. There's not any room for me to be able to fit in there. Even if I could, I'd have no place to go. Toilet. Ew! I don't want to get anywhere near that toilet. Besides, just looking from here, I can see that it's empty. And I'd rather not get my arm stuck in a pipe trying to look for something. Anyways, sink. I tried checking the sink basin for anything that might be useful. I remember playing old escape games, and usually the sinks would have something important in them, like a screwdriver or even a key. Not this time, though. Check the bed. I tried checking around the bed in the cell. It felt as hard as a rock, and even the sheet was covered in a fine layer of rocky debris. I tried looking under it to see if there was any sort of hole or trap door I could sneak through. Of course there wasn't. Vent. Climbed over to the vent that was on the wall. People escape through vents in movies all the time, right? Even though it's old and rusty, it wasn't gonna give anytime soon. There's no way I'd be able to open it on my own. Look through the bars. I tried looking through the cell bars to get a better look of the area I was in. I seemed to be in a cell at the end of a long hall. I couldn't see anyone in any of the other cells, but I didn't want to risk shouting out for anyone in case the wrong person heard me. The only thing I could see at the end of the hall was a staircase. Let's open the door. I tried opening the cell door. It clanged and rattled. Of course it was locked. But I at least had to try. That's everything. No, that can't be it. There has to be something else I can do. There has to. There isn't anywhere out. I'm trapped here. I I can't do anything. I I can't believe this. Corbin, Ovidius, Mom and Dad. They're all in trouble. For what? Because of me? if they weren't trying so hard to keep me safe. Hey, that's so stupid. They're so stupid. None of this would be happening right now if they just suddenly I heard a rattle against the balls. I thought I was finally done for until I looked up. Re- Reginald? You know what? I keep ending on screens with Reginald. He just fucking shows up out of the blue. Why? Because he's stalking me. Yep, you guessed it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having fun. And I hope you get stalked by fucking Reginald. Good night. Love you. Bye.